All right, so let's try both methods for this one. So we're looking at this and we see that the leading coefficient, that's what we call this one, the coefficient of the x squared, is not 1. Well, okay, so it's 2. Can we divide everything by 2? In this case, yeah, we can. So let's just go ahead and do that just to, again, make it a little bit easier to work with. So we're dividing everything here, both sides by 2. That's a 2. So what do we get? So 2x squared divided by 2, that's just going to leave us with x squared plus 12x divided by 2, so just plus 6x, and minus 32. So negative 32 divided by 2, negative 16, equal to 0 over 2, so still 0. Okay, so we're here. Let me just sort of divide this off a little bit. So we're here, and from here, so I'm looking at it, let's use, again, the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula says negative b. What's our b? So it would be negative, again, we're trying to, yeah, so again, this quadratic formula gives us the 0, 1, or 2 solutions to this equation, right? So negative b, so negative 6, right? Negative 6 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 6 squared. I'm just going to go ahead and write that as 36. 36 minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 16, all over 2a. So 2 times our a, which is 1. Okay, so let's simplify it a little bit further. So it'd be negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 16. So that's going to be positive 64. Positive 64 all over 2, which comes down to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of 36 plus 64, which is 100. So square root of 100 is 10. So let me just go ahead and write this as 10 here. Over 2. So from this, again, how do we get the answer? Well, one x value is equal to negative 6 plus 10 over 2. The other one is negative 6 minus 10 over 2. So let's do those in order. So negative 6 plus 10, 4 over 2 is 2, comma. Negative 6 minus 10, negative 16 over 2, negative 8. Okay, so got that done. So that was our quadratic formula method. But hold on. I mean, I'm looking at this. That looks pretty factorable. Why don't we try to just factor real quick and see what we get by factoring, right? So we're looking at this. How did we do it with factoring? We're looking for two numbers that add to get negative 6, multiply to get negative 16. Sorry. So what would those be? Negative 8 and positive 2. I'm sorry, positive 8 and negative 2, right? So positive 8 and negative 2 would add to get 6, and positive 8 and negative 2 would multiply to get negative 16. So using our factoring method, this becomes x plus 8x minus 2 equals 0. From this, we set each of these individually equal to 0. Right, so we get x here. Here this becomes x is equal to negative 8. And here this becomes x is equal to positive 2. Which just so happens to be exactly what we got here, but we got it in like, I don't know, 15 seconds instead of doing all this. So that kind of demonstrates, again, you decide for yourself when you think the quadratic formula would be useful. Again, if you're really having trouble factoring it, just plug it in. This thing will always give you the answer. But in just certain cases like this, you could have gotten it faster by doing that way. So I hope that's a good illustration of the quadratic formula. I'll show you one more example, and then we'll go to practice problems. In the next example, I just want to show you a situation where it's possible to factor, but again, would just be a little bit difficult. So let's get to that.